And I'm gonna go. I just started the recording, um, but this is kind of gonna be a wild west meeting. So everybody will just get to do whatever they want. I unfortunately am not gonna have a whole lot of time to do any kind of organizing of the meeting for the next couple months probably.
I can be more of a
So
help next time.
yeah, we need some folks to step in and try to help put a program together.
All right,
Um,
I'll start pushing that on my
that,
end.
that'd be
That's
cool.
something I can help
I
with.
appreciate it.
No worries, I can definitely help out there.
I woke up this morning. I couldn't even close my hands. They're so sore from painting, of all things. Uh,
There's something you don't do, and then you do a lot of it. It's painful.
yeah. I
Hmm.
had troubles going to sleep at first last night because my fingers were aching so much. I was painting uh, primarily a ceiling. We've got a bonus room that extends the length of the house, so painting the ceiling of that room, and it's got walls that are at 45-degree angles, and those were actually a lot harder to. I say walls. They're regular walls, and then they go into 45.
Yeah, no,
You know 90 degrees from the ground, but then they go up about 4 feet, and then they go turn 45 degrees towards the ceiling, and those 45-degree ceiling wall thingies, those are a real pain in the butt to paint.
yeah, because
Much
you have to
much more
use very
difficult
little
than you would
paint.
imagine.
Yeah, we've got a little reverb from somebody.
Oh, could that be me?
I'm not sure.
All right, I guess we'll get going. It's 1 minute over. Maybe someone else will show up. I am running today's meeting as Chris and Lindsay are otherwise occupied or completely drained. It might be a little disorganized because I got 40 minutes to prepare and I spent that time to make food. And also, there's not a lot of people here. So, welcome to the monthly Pixels and Dice Lions Club meeting for September 2023. I don't know how much good it will do if we go over new stuff. I think we had plans to talk about like the Lions Club in general, our mission, and also mental health specifically as like an open discussion to start this meeting. But I don't know how much good it will do if it's just the five of us here. Maybe someone else will join later and we can go back to that then. I know that Gus had a lot of input on that topic. So we might be. Well, maybe we will just delay for another month and talk about it next month. Other than that, I think an update on the finances would be good. Do either Bart or Chris or Lindsay know anything about Kathy's current status? I know that she has like what did she write? She's getting the application going and a bank account as well. Anything else you guys know about that?
Yeah, no,
I don't.
that's it. She was looking for uh, the bylaws, a copy of the bylaws, articles of incorporation, and date of organization. So I believe that's something that well, I don't know. Lindsay, were you working on that, or was Garner working on that?
No,
with,
my
with
dad was
Kathy?
supposed to be.
Okay.
My dad was supposed to be the one doing that. I gotta talk to him. I've had kind of an insane week, so yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Well, since I'm going to start working on trying to make sure we put together like a quick list for next time. First of all, I'll go ahead and twist my own tail since I can barely speak this week. But
All
so
right.
I'll go ahead and take that on as a mission item. I'll go ahead and put that as our first item for next week or next month rather.
All right. We also have the member list going. Do we know if that is complete, and what would we need if it's not complete from our members? Do we need anything for that, or is that do we fill that out if we get the payments in?
Good question. I don't know the status of it. I know Kathy was going backwards from finances to the member list. I have not taken a look at it, but I can take that under my belt in the next month to go take a deeper look.
Right.
To see what all we might need. Because realistically, I just need to make sure that all members are being categorized somewhere. And we have a full list. So
That's fair enough.
I'll share my notes with you, Lindsay, and you and I can work
Okay.
on both of those. So
I
wait,
gotta poke Dad for it too.
I can do that as well.
Yeah, we need to try to get him before he goes to Montana next week.
All right, I'll work on him this weekend. He's gonna want my attention, so I'll have to trade with him.
A trade deal.
All right. And then go ahead.
I was just gonna say, for anybody that may have missed the message, I posted earlier today, not too long ago. I listened to the Micro podcast, and he had a guest with and that is a doctor, and they had a great conversation about anxiety. And how to handle it, and I figured, hey, that's kind of right up our alley. So it's a few little tidbits in there, a few little nuggets. Of course, the guest was pitching a book, but it was still an enjoyable listen. And so links out there in the general chat channel if anybody wants to listen to that. It's about an hour long.
I'm definitely going to listen to that, and I think there's a couple more that I can add to it. I just need to make sure what the rights are on them that I went through. I listened to and reviewed in treatment. They were really good and really good about mental health and stress and dealing with things and moving forward. So I think it's a great thing.
Well, I just linked to the podcast, so that website gets to handle all the right stuff. So
yeah.
That does actually get us to another point, and that is the committees that we are, I think, currently establishing. Chris, did you get a chance to create a channel or like a group of channels on the Discord for committees?
I did not. Thank you for reminding me, and we'll have
all
to
right.
try to tackle that.
So we'll get that going, and then we'll have a channel for each committee. And everyone who is interested, like they will be publicly viewable, and everyone can, I think, would be reasonable for everyone to be able to chat in there as well. But once the committees get going, we would like for the people that are interested in joining a committee to go to each of these channels and collaborate on finding a chair for these committees. And then we would like these chairs to join us on one of the upcoming board meetings, which is in either 2 weeks or I think in 5. Would be a reasonable time frame for that. And that's also where we can get the discussion going about who do we want to benefit, who do we think is good guest to invite for our next general meeting, which is in 4 weeks, probably. So maybe we can have a first guest for then, or for the month afterwards. So that's definitely something we should get going soon, TM. Also, hello, John and Kathy. No worries. Would you like, while you're here, Kathy, would you like to give us a quick update on how the financial situation is going, if you could?
So I have the EIN number now. The current, basically I need to submit a few different forms through the IRS to get us officially marked to 501c4. And setting up the bank requires some forms I don't have yet. Basically stating our organization and like different things. But once I have those, I can keep on moving with those. I just pinged some people to try to figure out how to get a hold of those documents.
All right, great. And for the member list that you've put together, is that did you pull the information from the payments you've already got, or do we need our members to give you some additional information, or maybe not
So
you,
currently-
but Eric?
Currently, that's the information that International has for us. I believe it's only the members who are located in Georgia, because that's who we registered first, is my guess. I'm just looking at the names on the list and who's missing from it. I can get the rest of the names from Rob, or I forget who had them.
I think
And we
Eric.
Eric, we can add those to my spreadsheet, so that we know who else needs to be paying dues when it comes time.
All right, awesome. Okay. For the committees that we will be setting up, I think Gus and John, both of you were interested in some of them. Would you like to add anything that we should be looking out for when creating these channels? Is there anything that you kind of want to set a focus on?
This is John here. Gus, do you want to go ahead? I'll wait.
Nah, go ahead, John.
Well, I think like on one of the earlier posts or whatever, I was talking about like there's this thing called QPR, and I'm actually working on getting the training, and it's like suicide prevention. I thought if I can get the training to become a training trainer, we could actually like run that. I thought that was really cool, and I'm working on that. And then a friend of mine sent me something like about like internet therapy or whatever. I don't have it up right now. And then the other stuff I was interested in, I was been approached like twice now in the past 2 weeks by parents that have kids that are gamers about safe gaming. So that's just some of the things that I'm thinking about.
So, can someone remind me, did we set up a committee for topics or guest speakers or something like that? I know we have one committee that we want to do for who do we want to benefit, but do we also have one for who do we, like, which topics do we want to touch on internally?
Not that I'm aware of. I'm not
Yeah, I
aware
don't
of,
think so.
of a committee for that.
maybe.
Anybody is welcome to attend the board meetings and present topics that they'd like to like the club to address.
For sure, but maybe we would want to get a committee up for that, so that we have like some people that regularly check in with some guests, and maybe try to find someone that we can talk to who are experts in their respective fields. Maybe something to consider for the future.
I agree.
I think other than that, we are mostly good to go. Some technical stuff that I think we should touch on, unless someone else wants to say something.
I'll just jump in real quick. I think we're all in the same boat when it comes to being stressed out in the next week or two. And yeah, I've looked at a couple of different charities, and on my own, it's just hard to make any like real decisions. I did really take a good look at the Lions Quest website, and they have a brochure that it kind of explains their philosophy. It I don't know, it seems to check out fine with everything I know. It's the methodology behind it is pretty current. I think I've said it before. I try to stay away from anything that directly involves applied behavioral analysis, or ABA, because it's just a dying philosophy. And I think the American Medical Association a couple of weeks ago agreed with me that ABA is not a great philosophy or plan. So that being said, if we just need something to focus on in terms of somebody to give the money to, that Lions Quest is pretty good. And then I have some other thoughts, but yeah, if we set up the channels, it might be easier to schedule like some small meetings, even if it's like a 5-minute get together. So that's kind of where I stand with looking at charities.
John here.
Hey, John.
Can I throw a hat in the ring?
Sure.
Always.
I don't always know how to say what I'm going to say, so I just have to say it. But like, when I was like a loner kid, like gaming was like my only friend, and my best friends were gaming, right? So I want to, if we could do a charity, I would be like, because I also live up in the middle of nowhere where kids don't get to meet anyone or whatever, right? And also the whole culture war against the LGBTQ transgender kids, that's bothering me.
Yeah.
So if I could choose a charity, I want to be a charity about acceptance and difference and empowering kids.
I'm right in line with you, John. And that's why I wanted to get rid of ABA, because that's where
I don't even know what that means,
therapy
man.
comes
You're
from.
way ahead of me, man. I don't know what that means. What does ABA mean?
Oh, it's applied behavioral analysis, and
It's outdated.
so essentially, it's what most people, including schools, use to. It's what they use when they assign adults to the rooms. But it does so many other things. It's also the basis for gay conversion therapy. So, in other words, it's something we really want to avoid.
Yikes.
And
I think you're totally right. I totally hated school. Most of my teachers are fucking their students, but they only got in trouble. It was male on male. You know what I mean? Because like apparently you can like sleep with girl children or whatever. I don't know. This world's terrible.
Ultimately, to bring it back in line, I think the whole idea is it looks at a societal structural norm that it applies that as a hard, and then tries to bring everything in line. From my understanding, my obviously amateur understanding.
No,
So,
that was said very well.
And so I don't agree with that. I'm pretty sure nobody here does. So I might be able to wrangle another member who doesn't show up to meetings in with you. She's traveling tonight. She's getting ready to travel. But for picking out charities, as somebody who's done volunteer work for rape victims in the past, sexual assault victims, so I think I can get some help for you guys to try to figure that out.
Okay,
But
sounds good.
I do think the Lions it does have a good angle on it already.
Hey,
Yeah,
I have a
it's
question.
Yes.
Sorry, was I cutting someone off? I wasn't. There's a lag.
No. I was
Okay.
trying to stop
Do we
talking.
have to choose an actual entity, like a specific charity, or can we just define our objectives? Like, here's what we don't want. We like the one we were just talking about. Here's what we do want to support, and then we worry about aligning to a specific charity when we have a big enough pot. Right? We can do the work on identifying what we want to benefit. Here's what we don't want, here's what we want, and keep it as general as possible. And then when a specific charity shows up that matches that, does it match our criteria or our objectives? That's how I've seen it done in the past too.
I think that's what we got planned with the beneficiaries committee. So
it.
we got some people that are actually actively looking for charities that we can benefit. And I
But-
don't think we need to specify one exclusively over everything else. And we can also move in between them depending on what we're doing.
But I hear you, Ivo, but I guess if I could just clarify my point, what I was suggesting was rather than trying to pick one or two charities at a time, which is what we want to do eventually, I guess it's a question, have we established, either through the committee or otherwise, who our beneficiary guidelines are? What are our guidelines? Because I think if picking one at a time is fine if we need one, but I think in the long term, we need guidelines as well as what do we as a club want to support?
For sure, we need those. And I think that also would be a good task for the committee to figure out those guidelines and then have the club talk on them. And to sum up this whole conversation, maybe, I think we should start off next month's meeting with like a free open discussion about the whole topic about what we want to do as a Lions Club, what do Lions Clubs generally do. Maybe we can have Garner or someone else come in who is a veteran Lions Club member who can talk about the like whole mission that we want to accomplish, and then also about our specific objectives. And if like maybe if we can get that going within 1 month, we will have all the committees and the Discord channels assigned, and then also someone who is like maybe the committees were able to get together in like a smaller chat like Gus mentioned earlier and are able to talk on that. And maybe we can even get in like